First of all, coach, hard luck. You controlled the game. You are all over Kaizer Chiefs, and someone said last week Kaizer Chiefs are the luckiest team in history of football. Would you say that also? Because you controlled the game, and you had more chances than them.
You need luck. You make your own luck. I think So no, I think it was an end-to-end game. Both teams having chances, and it's about taking the chances that you create and turning them into goals. And we only managed to turn one into a goal, and they managed to turn two of them. So that is the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I can't fault the guys for effort today. I thought they were exceptional. Really, really good. We just landed up on the losing side.
Coach, in terms of planning, I don't know, from the outside, of course, we're sitting and waiting 2 weeks before to find out if the calendar was confirmed. Whether it's couple league matches. I don't know what's going on with you guys as coaches, how much you know. How does one prepare for such a situation? You play in 2 weeks, you play 3 matches. Two of them are league and one is a cup match. Immediately after the season started.
We try and control what we can control. We can control the uncontrollables. That's how the draw is made. That's how the fixtures landed up. You play 2 massive league games and a cup game in the space of a week. It's not easy. It's hard. So it's all about how much time you give the players off in terms of recovery. I said this before. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Could have been easy for me to say, okay, let me rest a few, refresh, but there's no guarantee that that's going to work. And either way, you're going to be questioned. Oh, but why did you make changes, or why didn't you make changes? The aftermath is always what if? Yeah, what if? But you try and make the best decisions that you possibly can, and roll with it. Obviously, would we have preferred to have had a longer break ahead of such a big game as today? Obviously, but that's, like I said, we don't have control over that.
Mark? You took a bit of a punt. Punt is perhaps not the right word, on Goedeman and Rhodes. How satisfying is it for you to see, even in 3 games, how these guys are just taking one monumental leap forward? And if I can just take one back, not a punt. When did you, in your head, make up your mind these guys are going to be something special?
Well, I think, obviously when I joined the club, I saw both of them and how talented both of them are. You could see that if you could keep them grounded and disciplined, that both of them could turn out to be very, very good players. And it was a struggle in the beginning, especially with their discipline. But the more aggressive I was with them in terms of the discipline, and then also, always putting our arm around them, telling them that I believe in them. So I think both of them now in pre-season really, really showed me a maturity that I was looking for. And I think, both of them have been really, really good. Bala today was superb, and Bala yesterday, his girlfriend's father passed away in the morning, so he actually didn't even come to training. He was at training for the video and then he left, so he didn't do any of the tactical work. And then I was calling him last night just to check if everything was fine. And he was in the starting lineup today, and he done really, really well. So it shows the level of maturity that he's now gaining.
Coach, after a performance like this, you can't really be disappointed going over this whole last week. And how do you move on from here? You didn't change anything for these last 3 games. Is it 9 times out of 10 in a performance like today, you're going to win?
Yeah, exactly. My disappointment, to be brutally honest, is how we concede the goals, because what they're going to do. They're going to try and hit you on the counter. They're not a team that just looks to play through the phases. They're very, very direct, and maybe with a little bit more smartness and maturity, we should have dealt with the long ball a lot better. Sometimes we apply that high press, and sometimes we commit ourselves when in reality we should be rather dropping off, but these are individual mistakes that you try and fix, and you can fix. But in terms of how we want to play and the strategy that we apply, the players are doing exactly that, and we're getting into that final third and we're creating so many chances, we're just not turning it into goals. We have the chance with Mayo to make it 2-0. And then I think the game is dead. You miss that chance and boom, straight from there the counter-attack, but you now find yourself 1-1. And then, like you said, you're dominant, you're playing on the front foot, and sometimes we tend to get a little bit excited when we do that, and then we leave ourselves exposed, which is what ended up happening right at the death. And, at that time I'm saying to myself, well, I've got one substitution left. I can already see Keanu struggling, I can already see Mbina struggling, but maybe let me just hold on to it because we might need it for extra time, And then the unfortunate reality is you concede before that.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned you crediting the guys very well. So what they just on this game today, what is that positive thing that you want to build on, and what do you think that you want to build on, and what is that thing that you want to work on?
Like I said, when I win or lose, I'm happy when I see what we do in the training ground coming out on the field, and that's what I'm seeing. Everything that we apply on the training ground, I'm seeing it being applied by the players, and the fact that the players believe in it, So for me, that's how I judge things. I don't judge it purely on the result or whether you collected 3 points or 0 points. I don't do that. I judge it on the performance. I judge it on what we've been doing day to day. And if I see that, then I know, okay, we're moving in the right direction. And I firmly believe we'll win more games than we'll lose playing the way we are right now.
I'm Kutumela from Kutumela, and in the point of judging from this game, which department that you think you need to focus on improving?
The finishing. I think that's the more obvious, Like I said, Mayo normally in training would be burying that, But in the game, the pressure, etc., we're missing those chances, and we've got to get better at that. Collectively, not only pressure on Mayo, no. So everyone must get better.
So, Coach, you're obviously disappointed today over the defeat, but with a good start in the league, is that now, can you just focus on that and basically move forward with it?
Yeah, now we just move forward. Now we know, okay, we've got a game coming up on Friday against SuperSport away from home. Tough game. So now we turn our focus purely on that and work on the certain areas that we need to improve in terms of our strategy. But we're not going to go into panic mode and start thinking we need to change this and we need to change that. We're quite happy with the squad that we have and what we've assembled. And I'm very, very happy with what I've seen from the performances from every single one of them.
Coach, coming back from the halftime break, you had Chiefs on the back foot, especially attacking their right back with 2 or 3 overload. Can you take us into your confidence in terms of the message around attacking the right back? And also, how disappointed are you that you had all those opportunities created from that situation but did not convert?
No, very. I think, obviously Mdu must have given them a little bit of insight in terms of what we do. So they were looking to block us centrally, and our strength, a lot of our strength comes through there. So we had to use the width a lot more. And I thought we'd done that quite well, the combination play that we were creating out wide, we made the players aware that we need to create that in order to start opening them up and centrally, But there were occasions, especially in that first 15-20 minutes of the game, where I felt we were trying to force things through the middle and we were losing the ball. So they kind of had the impetus going forward and we were a little bit on the back foot in that first 15-20 minutes. But once we started recognizing that we could look to switch it into Jaedin, switch it into Darwin, and look to build up from there, I think that's when we started to take more control over the game. So the players know that, and like I said, that's the positive, because we've spoken about it in training, that when these situations happen, now I understand, we need to go wide. Now it's just, Darwin put in 2 very good crosses, but I think he had maybe 10 or 11. Can we get that percentage to 4 or 5 better crosses? And that's creating more chances of goals. So that's what we're going to sit and work on.
Coach, excuse the timing, but you speak of not taking chances. You also speak of maybe being happy with your squad. Kutumela understands, is that an enforcement you're looking to make?
Yes, correct. We feel we need a little bit more depth and a little bit more opportunity for someone who has goal-scoring attributes and someone I've worked with before. So obviously we're very, very happy to bring him, because he'll just give us an added number.
Obviously, you rewarded players for consistent performances and picking the same team for 3 matches in a row. But how close was Phillies? How much did you debate in your head picking him? Was it something that kept you up at night?
Massive. I had very, very little sleep over the past couple of days, because Tada last season was our best defender, and we know what Tada's capable of, so there was a part of me saying that I should be bringing him back, because we know what he can offer us, especially on the ball going forward. So there was that thought process in my head. I obviously sat with the technical team discussing it, sat with the chairman discussing it. And I said, no, I'm going to rather stick with what I've always believed in, which is my gut. And I don't think I made the wrong decision. I think Mark, Tami and Keanu were superb, and Mark was really having a good game until he started cramping, which was unfortunate, because I think he was really, really performing well. And Tada, when he came on, he did make a couple of mistakes, but that's going to happen, because it's his first game now since back from suspension. So difficult decisions that I made, and obviously upset faces, because a lot of people probably didn't think I would have, or they would have thought I would have changed things, but I kept it as it is, and I think for that, I think the players were happy with that decision.
Okay, so thank you guys.